Infernax Ultimate Evil Guide, How to Steal the Necronomicon and Defeat Abaddon. Home Guides. Infernax Ultimate Evil Guide, How to Steal the Necronomicon and Defeat Abaddon. In Infernax, you can complete the game with a rating of Good, Evil, Ultimate Good, or Ultimate Evil. I've already created a walkthrough for Ultimate Good, so now it's time to do something a whole lot darker. Now, there's a part of me that wants to just say that you should follow my Ultimate Good guide, thus make all the opposite choices, but unfortunately it's not that simple. So I'm going to create a complete step-by-step guide to getting the Ultimate Evil rating. Note that your morality rating is invisible to the player, so you're going to want to make as many evil choices as possible. You don't have to do absolutely every evil thing in the game to hit Ultimate Evil, but I will say that Ultimate Evil is a lot less forgiving than Ultimate Good in this regard. I believe you can only miss one evil act and still be able to get the Ultimate Evil rating. The main thing is that you want to keep progressing the cultist hideout missions. A cultist might tell you that he doesn't quite trust your commitment to the darkness, and that means you need to do a few more of the things on this list. Anyway, let's go make some evil. Kill the possessed man. When you first start the game, you'll encounter a man who's struggling on the shores of Yupal. He's being possessed by an ancient evil, and he asks you to kill him. You are offered the chance to try to help him, but don't do it, just kill him outright. This means you're going to completely skip the Paimon fight, and the subsequent side quest to kill Paimon a second time. Fight the aberration in Darsov. I've not found a way to skip the first encounter with the aberration when it attacks Darsov. I've even tried letting the other soldiers do all the work, but their weapons don't seem to do any actual damage. So you'll have to defeat the aberration in Darsov to push the game forward. Later, you will actually need to slay the thing, because it's the only way to get the key for the Veilshire Keep dungeon. Well, that's not entirely true, because you can actually grab a key from the Combelton Necropolis dungeon, then use it to unlock Veilshire Keep. Of course, if you do this, you will be one key short of being able to complete the Combelton Necropolis. So either way, you're going to need this key. So you're going to have to do at least one good deed. Actually, there's another one you'll need to do later, but I'll explain that when we get to that section of the guide. Steal money from the church. In the Darsov Cathedral, there is a donations box, tucked away in the bedchambers. You are asked to donate 25 gold to help the needy. Not only should you refuse, but you should smash the box and take all the money. Buy the shield spell from Arthur. In Darsov, there's an apothecary run by a man named Arthur. For 100 gold, he will sell you the shield spell. You'll want to buy it before you do the next step. No, it doesn't have an impact on your morality, but you'll get the upgrade for it in the next step, so you want to have it handy before then. Use the money you stole from the church to purchase the spell. You should get 75 gold from the church, and grinding for the other 25 shouldn't take you long at all. Also, you'll want to have 100 more gold on hand when you're done with this, but don't worry about grinding for it. You will almost certainly have it on you when you need it. Anyway, I'll explain the reason for all this in the next section. Skip all the quests in Darsov except one. In a good playthrough, you would want to help as many of the villagers as possible. However, you're not doing a good playthrough. You want to keep these poor folks in misery and despair. Don't help anyone in Darsov. Okay, so there's one person you actually should help. It's the soldier in the garrison who asks you to clear out the bandits on Veilshire Bridge after dark. However, when you complete the quest, you want to make sure you take the bribe from the brigand instead of fighting him. This means Egbert will never feel safe opening up his shop on the bridge. It also means you get a cool 100 gold. See, I told you you'd have it in time. Further, after you turn in the quest, a shady wizard will appear and offer to sell you the Thorn Shield upgrade to your shield spell for 100 gold. This is what you were saving that gold for. Note that it is possible to lock yourself out of getting this upgrade. If you don't turn in the quest before the garrisons are locked up, after you turn evil, you will no longer be able to turn it in, and the shady wizard will never appear. Make friends with the vagabonds. In the section of the map shown above, you'll find a vagabond camp led by a man named Robert. One man in the camp will ask you to destroy a book in the church at night. Make sure you do this before you do anything else with the camp. Once you're done with that, enter the house to the east of the camp and talk to James. He'll ask you to chase the vagabonds away. Tell him you will, but then go have a drink with them. They will murder James in the night, and if you return to his house, a cultist will sell you the Drain Life spell for 250 gold. James would have sold you the heal spell instead. Help Danielle with the monster in her basement. Once you have the precision strike skill from the Combelton Necropolis dungeon, you will be able to smash through walls. There's a wall that needs smashing at the location shown in the map above. Danielle will ask you to take care of the monster in her basement. If you've done an ultimate good playthrough already, then you surely remember doing this. If not, the trick is to deflect its projectiles back into whichever eye is open. Once the creature is defeated, Danielle will give you the guided strike skill. Yes, this is another good deed, but you need this skill in order to reach one particular area toward the end of this playthrough. Flood Arcos. When you get to Arcos, you want to find the house shown above. Inside is a man who asks you to destroy the dam to the east of Arcos. You can choose yes, no, or never. Make sure you choose yes here. Next, you'll need to find the dam. It's right next to the tavern near Stormheim Castle. In case you don't know where to look, here's the location. Go west past the tavern, and you'll see a wall. Smash it a couple times, and it should burst, flooding Arcos. Note that everything on the lowest level of the town will be permanently inaccessible after this. Once you've caused this chaos, return to the man to turn in the quest. Reason with the Caged Demon. If you go east of Arcos at night, the area next to the Arcos garrison, you'll find a group of people who have captured a demon in a cage. They tell you to kill it, but you have two options here. You can either burn it or attempt to reason with it. If you try to reason with it, it will break out of the cage and kill some people. Definitely go with this option. You'll need to kill it afterward, but you still got to bring some more tragedy to the people of Arcos. Become evil. If you've done everything I've mentioned above, you should be approached by Philip right outside of the house in the previous step. He will give you the password to the cultist hideout just above Arcos. It's this building, in case you're unfamiliar. Inside, you'll find two quests. One asks you to go back to Darsov and kill Hans. He's in this house. When you talk to Hans, if you listen to his entire story, you will earn the Too Scared to Scream trophy/achievement. Next up, you need to buy the teleport spell, if you haven't yet. It's at the shop located here. You will need the Skycall skill to reach it, which you should have gotten in Stormheim Castle. Once you have the spell, you'll need to locate Jarvis, who lives in the house to the left of the shrine in Arcos. It's this one, in case that wasn't clear. Simply walk into the house and use the teleport spell. This will teleport Jarvis straight into the cultist hideout, where he'll be mercilessly sacrificed. This is the point at which you officially turn to the dark side. You are given a new set of armor, and you'll wield a longsword instead of a mace from here on out. Also, you will no longer carry a shield, so you might want to think hard about whether you're truly willing to commit to this dark path before you officially make the change. Once you've done this, you will receive the password for the hideout on Mount Kastka. Corrupt the shrines. When you are evil, every time you save at a shrine, you will destroy it. You'll want to destroy every shrine in the game, and earn yourself the Set the World Afire trophy/achievement. In case you're not sure where to look, here's a map. The yellow squares are shrines. If you have the teleport spell, this should be fairly easy. Just use the spell to travel to each shrine, and make sure you save at every one. Burn the villages. At this point, you should be able to use teleport to travel back to the shores of Yupel. There is a single house in this part of the game, shown above, and you can only enter it during the day. If you do, you will meet an old hermit, and he will ask you to burn all 3 villages. Make sure you answer yes here. You can burn each village by simply using a storm spell, thunderstorm or firestorm if you've acquired it, more on that later, while in town. Once all 3 villages have been burned, return to the old hermit for your reward. Help with the exorcism. Once you've completed Stormheim Castle, Julius will be standing to the west of the Darsov Cathedral. If you approach him, he will ask you to come to the cathedral to help him with something. When you go to the cathedral, you will find a possessed man in the bedchambers. I've written a complete guide to this part of the game for those of you doing a good, or ultimate good playthrough. However, if you're on the evil route, you can just kill the possessed man instead of fetching Gregor. Do not purge the dreamscape. In Kasky, there is a man who asks you to purge his nightmares. Don't do this. In fact, don't even enter his house. Let him suffer. If you do decide to go into his house after you've turned evil, he won't ask you to help him with the dreamscape at all. He'll just try to make you feel guilty. What a jerk. Befriend Remus. In Kasky, between the mayor's house and the garrison is a house belonging to a woman named Caroline. If you go inside and talk to her, she'll ask you to take care of a skeleton that she's worried will slaughter her. Now you'll have to go find Remus. His location is right here. To get there, you'll need the familiar spell, which you can buy at the apothecary in Kasky for 300 gold. This summons a raven that will pull a lever to let you across the gap. I should point out that this section of the map is actually a bit buggy, and you can use the Holy Charge skill, if you have it, to zip yourself off the right-hand side of the screen. If you do, you should appear on the other side of the gap. I have a feeling this could be patched out, and the other gaps that require the spell aren't exploitable, at least, not to my knowledge, so you'll need the spell anyway. You might as well just bite the bullet and pick it up while you're in Kasky. Anyway, you'll find Remus inside of a house, and he'll ask you to spare him. Accept his offer, and then revisit Caroline's house to finish the quest. You'll find that she's been horribly murdered. This isn't the last time you'll see old Remus though. Meet the cultists in the second hideout. You can use the password to get into the next cultist hideout, way up on Mount Kastka. You really can't miss it on the way to the Kastka Palace dungeon, but here's a map of all 3 hideouts for reference. Now, you actually don't need to use the password at this point. You can also go into the mayor's house in Kasky, and he'll open up a secret passage to the hideout straight from his home. While you're in the secret passage, you'll encounter a wizard who will sell you the Firestorm upgrade for your Thunderstorm spell. It costs 250 gold. You don't necessarily need to upgrade it, but why wouldn't you? Fire magic is one of the best benefits of being evil. Anyway, once you're in the hideout, you'll find a quest to destroy the relic in the Kasky Mausoleum. You'll also probably see Edgar, the mayor, inside too, but you won't be able to accept his quest quite yet. So go to the mausoleum during the day. It's the building on the left side of Kasky. It's hard to miss, and slay the priest who's defending the relic, then destroy the relic itself. Now the people of Kasky won't be able to fend off attacks from monsters. Return to the hideout to get your reward of 300 gold. Help Edgar with the ritual. At this point, you should be able to talk to Edgar in the hideout to accept your next devious task. If Edgar still won't offer you work, go back and make sure you've done all of the things listed above, and then return. Edgar asks you to fetch a young couple for his sacrifice, Joanne and Timothy. They're in Kasky, but only during the day, and they live in the house next to the apothecary. Go inside, then use your teleport spell to zap them both to the ritual site. Now, you'll need to choose which of the 2 you'll sacrifice. I've done both, and I haven't been able to spot any differences, except for which of the 2 gets sacrificed. I'm not sure if this factors into the morality system at all, but my gut feeling is that if it does, Joanne is probably the more evil choice. I really only assume this because of the innocent look on her face when you're making the choice, so don't put too much weight into my opinion on the matter. Once you've completed this, Edgar will give you the password for the next hideout. Meet up with Remus again. Now, since you're going all the way out to Kajanto Peak, you might as well finish up the Remus storyline. As you approach Kajanto Stronghold, you will encounter Remus and Brutus. If you're heading out to the stronghold, you really can't miss this. They've captured a wizard and are holding him in a cage. They force the wizard to upgrade your familiar spell the Fiend, which summons a demon instead of a raven. Complete Genevieve's husband's transformation. In Darsov, there is a woman named Genevieve whose husband has gone mad. In a good playthrough, you would get the Holy Light spell in the Kajanto Stronghold dungeon. You would then use it to cure Genevieve's husband, who lives in a shack beneath her house. However, if you clear Kajanto Stronghold after you've turned evil, you will instead get the Hellfire spell. If you use Hellfire instead of Holy Light, it will cause Genevieve's husband to complete his transformation into a demon. Enter the Kajanto hideout. Now you have to go to the hideout on Kajanto Peak. Check the map that I posted earlier if you can't find it, but it's pretty hard to miss. Inside, a cultist asks you to fend off Tancred's troops on the shores of Yupel. He wants you to slay Tancred and sink the ship if you can. At this point, I suggest using teleport to go to the shrine at the shores of Yupel and then save. Trust me, this next part is easy to screw up, so you're going to want to have a recent save file handy. You're going to have to defeat the troops, and use your Firestorm spell to sink the boat. It's super easy to forget to sink the boat here, so that's why I suggested saving right before this. Tancred will run off and swear vengeance. Don't worry, he's not actually killable in this battle, though you will be able to kill him later on. Prepare the final sacrifice. Now, the cultist high priest in the Khajanto hideout has one more task for you: bring him Julius. You'll find Julius in the Darsov Cathedral during the day. Walk up to him, then use your teleport skill to whisk him off to the ritual stone. He will be sacrificed, and your dedication to evil will have been proven. Meet up with Robert. When you've done everything outlined above, you have very little wiggle room here. The cultist high priest, in the Khajanto hideout, will send you off to meet Robert. Robert's hideout is in the Combelton Cemetery. This is what you needed Danielle's guided strike skill for. And for the love of all things demonic and evil, make sure you save before you enter Robert's hideout. Before you talk to Robert, you might also want to do the hidden crypt dungeon to get your final weapon, the hellish longsword. The entrance to the dungeon is behind where Robert is standing, through a breakable wall. When you meet with Robert, he will ask you if you're ready for the ensuing battle. Tell him yes to begin the siege of Darsov. When you arrive in Darsov, you'll notice that the garrison is open. Go inside to face several mini-bosses in a row before you wind up on the other side of Darsov. Fight another mini-boss as you circle back to the cathedral. One of your monsters should smash an opening in the side of the cathedral so you can get inside. You will face off against Tancred here. When that's all done, you will be asked if you want to kneel before Robert or slay him. Each path gives you a different ending. If you choose to kneel, you will become Robert's apprentice, and the game will end. To be clear, this is not the ultimate evil ending, but it will result in you getting an additional book for your library. This is why I said you should save before this. However, you're more evil than that, right? You're going to slay him and take the Necronomicon for yourself, right? Yes, you are, because that's how you earn your ultimate evil rating. Defeat Abaddon to finish the game. Of course, you're not done quite yet. You're going to have to go to Urzan Citadel. You'll have to beat all 5 of the game's main dungeons first, and fight Abaddon. This is a really satisfying high-speed boss fight, and once it's done, you'll have earned the ultimate evil ending. Congrats! Share this post. Josh Wortman. Josh is a musician, writer, and lover of nerdy things. He co-founded Half Glass Gaming as a podcast,